Hello, we are live. This is Flo, Fiorenza, and my name is appunto Fiorenza, which is the ancient name for Florence, and I'm a tour guide. I'm in Italy. Hi, Rose. If you can't hear, you can also have a look on YouTube because this live is going on YouTube too. And as you know, Italy is under lockdown since March 10th. And this is, hi Angela, hi. And this is day 48. Day 48. And under lockdown, so I'm home, I'm in my house. But because I'm going a bit, crazy, my friend Ted from California said, "You're going bat shit crazy." He taught me this expression. I hope this is not too much of a bad word, but actually, this really gives the idea. So I said, because I miss my job, I miss going on tours and having you visit my beautiful Tuscany. I decided to do these live shows where I'm trying to bring you to visit my favorite places, my favorite people. I'm writing the notes. You can watch YouTube if Facebook doesn't work. I know there's a lot of internet traffic these days, so the connection there perhaps is not perfect. Anyway, I decided to start these episodes. Today we're going to talk about extra virgin olive oil. Hi, Camille. And we're going to visit one of my favorite farms and one of my favorite people, Roberto Bechi. And I'm hoping that this is the first episode, and I'm hoping that these experiences of Tuscany from your house. See, I also have my badge as a local guide. I know I'm home. I'm not on a tour, but let me dream. And we're gonna visit wine producers, oil producers, local artisans. I'm hoping to also make your quarantine a bit better, giving you a little piece of Tuscany, a little piece of the beauty Tuscany has to offer. And I'm also trying to support Tuscany, support Italy, and support small local productions. Olive oil and wine can be shipped in the US and Canada and perhaps also other countries. So I hope you'll enjoy. And let me present the first guest today, which is Roberto Bechi. Hi, Roberto.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
So Roberto Bechi is an outstanding tour guide. I can't but start with him. If I am a tour guide today, I owe this to Roberto because I started learning from his tours. And besides being Rick Steves' tour guide, Roberto is also a farm owner. And as you know, we're under lockdown, and so we can't move from our homes except for emergencies and essential work. Agriculture is essential work, so Roberto can go and work at his farm. And so with Roberto today, he produces olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, wine, and pasta and other local products. Today, we're going to concentrate on the olive oil. So, Roberto, I know that you've been pruning your olive trees recently. Tell me about your plants. Tell us about your plants, your olives. And by the way, you can ask questions, write any questions you may have in the comments, and we will try to answer to all your questions.
Well, first of all,
Please.
this is a very beautiful place to be locked down. I have to say that. As a matter of fact, now you see my face, but in a few seconds we will tour the farm, so you can see the beautiful landscape. It's a beautiful sunny day today, and so under the Tuscan sun, right?
Hi, Darla.
And talking about
Darla said she's loved your farm and she's missing it.
Oh, good, good. So that's nice. That's nice. I miss having people here, but this lockdown gives us a chance, as you were saying, of working hard on making the farm even better. We just finished the pruning, period, which is a very delicate moment because it's between the winter and the spring, which means that anytime this strange weather can give us some bad surprises. But thank God the weather helped. Was not too cold, and every time we prune a tree, it's a scar that we leave on the tree. But the tree then rejuvenates and gives us better olives and obviously better olive oil. So since I'm not such a handsome man, I think I'm going to flip the camera and show you around, if it's okay with you, and show you
Sure.
what we did, and then we tour. So just give me a second. I'm going to flip, and you're going to tell me if you see well. Okay, let me see. It's going to work. Is it working? Do you see the olive
Yes,
oil?
we see your olive oil. Yes.
Good, good. So that's what I have at first. Obviously, the name, the farm is called Madonna Bella, the beautiful Virgin Mary. And nearby, you see the color of the olive oil, which is a yellowish green right now and very deep green when it's just pressed. I want to remind you that we pressed the olive oil in November. So right now is basically half year old, basically. So I'm going to stand up and show you around. So I was sitting on the patio. Right now I'm going out from the patio. Just give me a second. And we are going in the sun.
It's been beautiful days, beautiful sunny days in Tuscany.
It's a very beautiful. This is a 1948. This is a 1948 old basic carriage with the name of our farm, Madonna Bella. And those are the olive trees. You can see them all around. You have to remember that the human has been cultivating olive trees for 6,000 years. And only in Italy, we have 600 varieties of olives trees. And only in Tuscany, 168. So you can imagine that we have an amazing biodiversity. This is an olive tree, for example. I hope you can see it just in front of us. It's an olive tree that we just pruned. As you can see, it looks very much like an upside down umbrella. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to cut off all the branches that are actually growing from this part of the trunk that you can see here. Those that now I show you, I left it in purpose, needs to be cut off. They don't bear any fruit. They just suck energy. And so on the bottom of the trunk as well. And now I'm going to show you some beautiful, another tree. It's called Lecino. This tree that I show you. We have 4 varieties: Lecino, Moraiolo, Frantoio, and Pendolino. The 4 varieties, they make the olive oil. Basically, we mix them together and we press them together. Look at the beautiful, I hope you can see it, the beautiful yellow flowers in the back. See? Can you see that, Fiorenza? Can you
Yes,
see the
yes,
yellow flowers?
we see it. We see it. It's
Hello?
beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Hello?
Ciao.
Can
Can
you
you
see
hear
it?
me?
Ciao,
Yes.
can you see?
We
Yes,
see
I can
it.
hear now. All right. And there is another very important branch that needs to be pruned, which is this one. I left it in purpose again. This is called succhione. Here we go. On the bottom of the tree, there is a succhione. This one too has to be removed because obviously sucks some of the energy that the tree needs later for the olives. And the olive trees can die and they can rebirth. And as a matter of fact, this olive tree that you see over here died in 1985. And the two branches, you see, it has two trunks over here, is because they were born again from the original, which probably is on the bottom now and is 100 years old for sure. Okay, we are going back up. Over here, we have more olive trees.
So Roberto,
more
how many
of the
how many
landscape.
kinds of
Okay,
how many kinds
appreciate.
of olives do you have?
As I said, four varieties:
Four.
Leccino, Frantoio, Moraiolo, and Pendolino. These are the four varieties that we cultivate over here. And look at the beautiful landscape. Right now, we are going up so that you can see Siena as well. And then we enter where we actually press the olives. We also have a kitchen garden. So we eat beautiful vegetables. The spring has been very beautiful, as you can see. It's all very green with lots of flowers. We have a fig tree here. In the distance, you can see the kitchen garden. And we also have a baby vine
on the tour, we come to lunch.
sprouting right now. So I show it to you before we go into the press.
I was saying, Roberto,
There we go. Can you see that, Fiorenza?
Yes, yes. And typically, I was saying during the tours, we come to lunch and enjoy the fruits from the garden. And these are the baby grapes, Roberto?
These are the baby vines. Called, yes?
Baby vines? Sorry.
Baby vines. This is Sangiovese vine, it's called. The main vine that makes Chianti, but we will talk about wines in another occasion. Right now, we are going to talk about olive oil. If you have questions about olive oil, obviously, I'm here for you and for your guest.
Hi, Christy. Waiting for you in Siena. She says, take me back to Siena.
Well, this is a good way to do it.
Christy's asking, does he mix olives to make the oil?
Yes. Yes, so we harvest them all together, we press them together.
And they're mixed, so the olive oil is the result of this blend, the olive oil Roberto makes. So,
can you hear me now? I mean,
yes, we can hear you.
And you're looking at the olive press.
Wait a minute. There's a question on the olives. How old are your trees? Asks Shelly. And Dottie too is asking.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
How old are your trees?
What is asking? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
They're asking.
Some trees are 200 years.
200 years old.
Some trees are 200 years old. Some are just baby. Some we just. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, good.
And so we were talking about the blends, the different kinds of olives, And Rosalba is asking, are they pressed separately? How do you press the olives to actually...
No. We press them together.
All
And
together.
we pick them all together, we press them all together. So we first pick them by knocking the olives down in November. And to do that, we use this tool here that I show you now. Looks, it's a fantastic tool that allowed us to go in the very high branches, and we knock them down into a net. And then we have the luck of having a machine that you are seeing right now, that is a machine that press the olives. Now, 90% of the olive growers, they don't press their own olives, but we bought this machine that does it. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Fiorenza, I lost you.
Sissi, now we can hear you.
Fiorenza?
Roberto, we hear you perfectly.
Yes. I lost you, sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if you had other questions. Yeah.
So tell us about the actual process when you harvest the oil. So what is making this extra virgin olive oil so special? Sometimes in the labels we see first press. What do you mean with first press, or what do we mean with extra virgin olive oil?
Well, there in Italy, and again, not in the United States, but in Italy, we classify the oil in 4 different classes. And obviously the best is the extra virgin, which obviously is the first press, because there is not such a thing as a second press. So when you hear first press, it's a little bit like saying H2O for water. It's always the first press. It's not a second press. Because you can press, with this machine, you can press only once the olives. Basically, extra virgin means a low acidity. So the olive oil has to have a maximum of 0.8% of acidity. Otherwise, if it's higher, from 0.8 to 0.2, it's called virgin olive oil. And if it's an olive oil that obviously is not processed only from the machine, but from the paste, from the leftover, that's what I consider bad olive oil. And I've seen it in America called a light olive oil. So I suggest never to buy light olive oil, because it's not really a very good quality olive oil. So here I can show you, if you want, the machine, how it works. Obviously, I cannot show you the press because it's not the time.
Yes, of course.
But we are going.
Roberto, we lost you. We lost Roberto. Roberto,
the funnel.
We lost you, Roberto. We lost you for a few seconds. This is the virtual tours, you know.
Can you see me now?
Okay, yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can all come in.
Can you see the machine again? Okay, so.
Roberto, we can see you, but we cannot hear.
Did you ask me something, Fiore? You cannot hear me.
No. Please tell us about how you actually press the olive oil.
If you hear me, you just
we hear you perfectly now.
Okay, good. So what I was saying, that the olives are brought into this funnel, into the conveyor belt that is going to compress the peat and the olives together, making into a paste. And this paste last here for 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, there is a thermostat that I show you here. Look, that is exactly pumping the paste into a centrifuge when the temperature reaches 27 degrees Celsius. And from here, this is the centrifuge. The oil comes from this pipe over here. So in an hour, everything is done.
So Rose is asking, Rosalba is asking, how many liters do you produce during the season? Roberto? We lost him again. Okay, so wait a minute. Roberto,
Hello?
can you hear me? Yes, we lost you again. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Now I
hear you, finally.
Okay, please don't move too much.
Good.
I know it's hard to find the connection in the countryside. And Rosalba is asking, how many liters do you produce during a season?
Okay, we produce 2,000 liters.
2,000 liters.
Of olive oil.
And
each tree produces only one bottle for each tree.
Okay, so, and Molly was asking, how is the acidity determined? Is it based on the age of the olives?
No, the acidity is how you press it. When you press it, more you wait and higher is the acidity. And also the varieties of olives have a different acidity as well. And whether they are planted, it's very important too. So if you get closer to the sea, for example, they tend to have more acidity. If you are in the hills at a high altitude, it's better.
Okay, also it's very important to try and press the olives when you pick them, because you have to know that olives are picked mostly by hands. In Tuscany, no, we put a net under the tree, and then the olives are picked and pressed right away. Hopefully, it's best if they are pressed right the same night at the oil press. So we've lost Roberto totally, and so typically it's very important to have them pressed right away, and this also preserves all the organoleptic qualities of the product. So we lost Roberto, but in the meantime, Betta, he's coming. Now we have you on the line.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Roberto, Shelly is asking, do the olives get pitted first before being pressed?
No, they are washed with the water, and we have to press it in the evening when it's not too hot. Otherwise, you cannot extract all the elements, or at least we don't have enough polyphenol if you press them when it's hot. So you have to be very careful that you don't press it on a very hot day.
Yeah, and preserve all the qualities. I think you showed us also the temperature control is very important.
Temperature control is the machine. That machine I showed you before cost 17,000 euros. So it's a very expensive machine for being so little. But it's worth it because we can experiment different temperature all the time, depending on the harvest. Meanwhile, when you go to a community press, they press at the temperature they want. In this way, pressing our own olive oil makes our product much higher in quality.
So Bill is asking, hi Bill, we hope to see you soon here in Tuscany. And he's saying, we long to return to Siena. How many olives required to make a gallon of olive oil?
You cannot do that because the olives have a different size. So you have to go on the percent. Let's say that on 100 olives or 100 kilos, only 14% becomes oil. So only 14% of the original weight becomes olive oil. That's why one tree makes only one bottle.
Very precious, a sort of
very
green
precious.
gold.
Yeah, it's like a distilling.
And Laurie.
Now there are some varieties that make more.
Of course. So Laurie is asking if, Roberto, you will be making flavored oil, like with garlic, and then she's saying, take me back.
Now, since I know Laurie, tell her, she's listening, so I can tell her not to make such a question. Because never, ever, ever you put garlic or anything on olive oil. No, no way. Olive oil is good because it's extra virgin. Extra virgin means nobody's touching it, not even garlic.
Nothing. So Laurie, no, wrong question. Kidding. And then
I'm joking because I know Laurie, okay?
And Rosalba, she's asking, after pressing, how soon can you use the olive oil?
Well, we suggest to obviously wait a little bit because at the beginning, the olive oil, it's a very, very spicy and very grassy. So actually, honestly, the Americans love it. Our American, more grassy, more spicy, better they like it. But because in America, the olive oil is consumed a little bit differently than here. For example, you see a lot of Americans dipping the bread into olive oil and eating to taste the olive oil. But in Italy, we consume it on the food. So we like better when it's a little bit more delicate. And when it's just pressed, it's way almost too strong for the food. In a way. So the olive oil doesn't add flavor to the food. It basically marries the foods together. So if you have lettuce, if you have a tomato, and you have a celery, your palate never be able to taste all these together. You have a hard time. It would be like chewing cardboard. But if you put olive oil, suddenly the tomato, which is very acid, marries with the very sweet and marries with the chlorophyll that is inside the lettuce. And this is because of the olive oil that happened. Otherwise, wouldn't be possible. As a matter of fact, it doesn't have olive oil. What it does, put a ranch, Thailand, blue cheese, is covering the taste of what you eat with maybe a beautiful flavor, but certainly you don't taste the vegetables. With the olive oil, you can taste the vegetables all the time.
Okay. Roberto, why don't you turn your phone? Because Laurie is saying she's in trouble again. So maybe she wants to see your look. And Larry says, I know, Julie, she's asking, what is done with the pits? Are they pressed into oil? Roberto, why don't you turn your phone because we don't see you.
I hear you.
You hear me, but we don't see you.
You don't see me?
See. Turn your phone around. Can you hear me?
Why you want to see me with the beautiful landscape?
You said we prefer the landscape. Okay.
I hear
So,
you just.
Eccolo. We want to see your face too. Lori wants to see your face. Julie, she's asking, what is done with the pits?
Oh, come on.
Are they pressed into the oil?
The pit, you asking?
Yes. What is done with the pits?
I cannot hear you, Fiore.
Are the pits pressed
No,
into
the
the
pit is
oil?
no the pit part of the taste of the olive oil. So you need to have the pit, but the pit is helping also the process of making the paste. Then obviously the pit is thrown out as a compost with the paste.
Okay. So Laurie says he has the point. So Julie's also saying, learning so much. Thank you. Thank you for following us. I know it's not easy with the connection here, but we're trying. We're trying to give you a little bit of the experience you would have and you will have when you finally will be able to travel back here in Tuscany. So thank you, Roberto, for your explanation and for showing us your farm. And I would like to remind everybody that if you would like olive oil from Madonna Bella from Roberto's farm, can be shipped in the US and Canada. And you can contact us for any information. I will put our contacts here under the comments. And I will come back to visit Roberto because we have to talk about his wines. There's also a lot of wine production at Madonna Bella, and we'll dedicate another episode to that. Next week, next Sunday, we will talk about the Brunello di Montalcino with some very good friends of ours, very good friend of Roberto's, Gianluca, who lives near Montalcino area. So let's say the king of wines. And then we'll go back to the wines at Madonna Bella. And then we'll see. I hope we'll have some artisans. I'm working on an interview with gelato maker just to see exactly how we make a real gelato in Italy. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brianne. Thank you for following us. I hope you're enjoying, and I hope this was the first episode. We will see how this works and if this will be getting better with the online connections. And ciao, Roberto. Shelly says, can't wait for the wine. And so thank you for all the information on the olive oil. You're showing us this pure
ciao everybody,
virgin olive oil. Ciao. I hope you enjoyed. Ciao.